Hi, I'm here to do a top 10 characters ranking for Gotham. A show with a lot of characters, and a lot that I don't have the most to say about, but there are certainly some characters that stand out, so definitely enough for a top 10. 10, Mad Hatter. Mad Hatter is one of my favorite Batman villains, and a villain that I feel like doesn't get enough attention. So I really like that Mad Hatter got to be in Gotham, and not a version of the Mad Hatter that I like as much as some other versions, like not as much as the animated series or anything like that, but a Mad Hatter that did get a fair amount of screen time and got some fun interactions with Gordon and stuff like that. So a solid take on the Hatter. 9, the Riddler. I do love the Riddler getting to be one of the big characters that shows up a lot. I like him feeling like one of the main characters of the show. Um, Not a Riddler that's quite as entertaining as I want the Riddler to be. Like, there's a whole romance subplot that I don't find the most interesting, but he has a lot of fun interaction with the Penguin, and there are some fun, entertaining moments with the character. So it is still a good, solid take on the Riddler. 8, Carmine Falcone. One of the more nuanced, sympathetic villains. Uh, Somebody who is very much a villain, but a villain that has some sense of morality and does care about others to a certain degree. So, a pretty interesting character, and he has a pretty interesting dynamic with Gordon that I like. 7, Alfred Pennyworth. The Alfred in Gotham feels not quite as heartfelt and wholesome as I often expect Alfred to be, but he very much feels like an Alfred that is a great person in some situations, and it feels like he really does care about Bruce Wayne and really is trying to be a father figure to him, give him advice, and be there for him, and doesn't always make the best or most altruistic decisions, but is still a caring, likable character that adds a lot to the show. 6, Victor Zsasz, a Batman villain that I wasn't ever expecting to like, because Victor Zsasz seemed like a villain that would just creep me out and just not be pleasant to watch in any way whatsoever. But he very much fit Gotham as a morbidly funny and entertaining character, and Gotham is a show that does feel very morbidly entertaining and fun to watch. So Zaz is actually really good in Gotham and fits very well as one of the characters that stands out. And from the adaptations I've seen, the Gotham version is my favorite adaptation of the character. 5, the Penguin. And I had some concerns about the Penguin because he really didn't look like what I'm used to the Penguin being. I was worried that it wouldn't be a Penguin that would work for me. It seemed like, well, too young, too skinny. Just, I wasn't too sure, but it ended up winning me over. Um, a Penguin that has a lot of nuance, was given a lot of screen time, a lot of character development, and was a character that really stood out and really worked for me. I really do like Gotham's version of the Penguin. 4, Harvey Bullock. Harvey Bullock is often a really funny character, arguably the funniest supporting character in Batman the animated series. But Bullock in Gotham often felt like a legitimately good friend to Gordon that really did care about him, and a character that wasn't perfect but had a lot of humanity. I felt like a lot of his sympathetic qualities were explored more often in Gotham than they were in other versions. So I really do like that, and he had a really big role in Gotham, and I feel like he was a really good character. 3, Jim Gordon. Jim Gordon Gotham certainly doesn't feel like what I normally expect Gordon to be, but he ended up leading the show very well, where Gordon is one of the best supporting characters in a comic book franchise, and one of the two most important supporting characters in the Batman franchise, along with Alfred. But it seemed like, could he really lead a show? Well, the Jim Gordon Gotham was able to lead the show, and he was a very multi layered character, and not quite as altruistic as I'm normally expecting Gordon to be, but a very interesting, good lead character that I did really end up caring about and I thought was really interesting. Two, Jerome Valeska, a very creepy, entertaining character that had a lot of value to him and is incredibly entertaining and memorable. Uh, a character that didn't appear that often, but when he did, he sure left a big impression. He is one of the most memorable, entertaining characters in the show. The number one, Professor Hugo Strange. I am such a big fan of Hugo Strange, so I was so excited that he finally got a live action adaptation and it ended up being a fantastic adaptation of one of my favorite Batman villains. He is so interesting. I feel like the most interesting stuff came from the story arc where he was the main villain. He was a great villain for the show, a fascinating character that was a brilliant mastermind, an incredibly entertaining, fun character to watch. I love him. Great take on Hugo Strange. And that is my top 10.